How are we going, everyone? Just been cleaning out the potato patch. If you remember, about a month ago I said we had a nice green patch going on here. Well, it was until the frost came in. Now these are the potatoes that self-germinated, because I'll show you what's going on here. You're never really able to get every single potato out of the ground when you're harvesting. Look at these. These are little seed potatoes. These are really tiny. But you know, potatoes can come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. If I'm digging under, look, this is what's happening at the moment. So nature, as it does its own thing, as always, has had these growing from about late April, early May, and then we had some frost settle in early June and knocked these all about. You can see all the burnt marks on top there, and you don't prune them back, you just let them go. They'll die off a little bit. Look again, this one hasn't sprouted quite yet. There's one, oh, there is a little bit just down there. It's pushing on. This one's obviously grown a lot more, and this one's still dormant. And you'll find this in your potato patch. For those who grow potatoes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But for those who've never grown potatoes before, you'll always have potatoes. Once you set up a little potato patch, guarantee if you never dig it out completely and sift it through, you'll always have potatoes sitting in here. Look at this. Potato, look at this, eh? They're all little ones. Obviously, seed potatoes, you leave them in there. I've got some larger ones as well. So there's literally hundreds of potatoes in here, and it is time to be planting them if you haven't done already. Now, we've had our grow pots. There's a few left online if you haven't got a spot to plant them in the garden where you can plant them in the grow pot. I'll show you those in a second. You just need really good loose soil. Anywhere I dig here, I'm going to find potatoes. So I'm just trying to find a spot to bury it like that. Just cover them over, and then as they grow up, look, another one. I'm trying to find a spot where there's no potato. Look, another one. Literally everywhere I dig here, this is our potato patch. That's what it is, folks. So you'll never go hungry, that's for sure. You can make lots of beautiful French fries or chips. Another one there. All right. Now, talk about soil. This side here is really a little bit hard. This corner here, and you can see the corners, I haven't filled them up yet. This is a bed that we're going to raise up later on as a raised garden bed. Over here is what I love, the soil. And wherever you walk, always go back and rake over. Now, I'm not going to do it now, but you know what I mean. Get your little rake out and just break up the surface so it's not compacted down, because that's what's happening. Once you compact it down, it doesn't breathe as well. This is an area, now I forgot to mention, my lovely chooks. Oh, she's in there again. Get out of there. I haven't got a name. That's Kentucky, the other one's roast chicken. Get out, they've destroyed it. Don't mind the mess, I'm overhauling the garden. Look what they've done. Now, it's only 2 you see at the moment, but I've got 38 of them. Look at my broad beans. I've covered them over 4 or 5 times, and they're constantly digging them up. They haven't taken off as well as I would have liked them to, but that's okay. They'll catch up. It's really cold out here, folks. There's more broad beans in this side here, which are taking off pretty well. Over here, have a look at these. These are the ones I'm talking about. So they're coming on. I know I've seen some of you send me emails showing broad beans 5 foot high. Congratulations. Perfect little microclimate you got in your garden, and that's what it's about. It's not a race to who can grow the biggest or fastest, let's say. It's just about quality and homegrown. So if you can grow some, whether you grow 1 or 100 of them, that's all that matters. They have destroyed the lettuce. Look at this. Oh, this has only happened in the last hour. I let them out of here. I don't normally leave them in here, but that's an hour's worth of work. There's not 2 of them, there's 38 of them, I know, but seriously? They've trashed the joint. Get out of here. I've had enough. Come on, let's go. Kentucky, where's the oven? Back to the potatoes, come. In all honesty, folks, I really don't mind. It's not about the finesse of the garden, the way it looks, and at the end of the day, we've got enough produce here to feed ourselves every day of the year. So if the chooks get into it a little bit, so what? What they're actually doing for me is cleaning the garden out. All right, they've destroyed a few of my lettuce, big deal, but at least they're getting all the grubs out. And it's the lawn grub that's more concerning, because I've had lawn grub in this garden bed, and that's like the cockchafer, a white grub with a brown head on it, curled grub like that. The adult is a beetle. It flies around, it lays its egg, and its eggs into the garden. Now, the lawn grub, this is another topic, side topic. It normally, by the name that it's given, is obviously being found in lawn areas, and you find dry patches in your lawn, and sometimes if it's not dollar spot or any other virus or fungus, it's the lawn grub that's eating the roots of the lawn, which is causing it to dry out. They've migrated into the gardens now. A quick one also, just before we started this segment, all the potatoes were on the surface. They dug them all out for me, so I had to bury them back down. And that's what she's going to do again, but that's okay, keeps me fit. But the lawn grub, when he gets into the garden and eats all your roots of your plants, you got problems. If there's one grub in the garden bed, little curl grub, I guarantee you'll find at least a dozen per square foot. Wherever you dig a hole in the ground and you find them, I guarantee there'll be lots of them. You can use a toxic chemical. It's called lawn grub and insect killer. It's really toxic. I don't recommend it. I know I've just put it out there for you, for those who are keen to use it. Me, that's the method there. Dig them yourselves out or let the girls come in here, destroy a few of your veggies, but get rid of the major problem. That's the pest. They're not a pest. They're actually composting machines, and they dig the garden. They're the best diggers out, I tell you that. They compost, they dig, and they clean. They eat it along the way as well, but then you get a nice clean garden to plant away. Back to the soil. Hey, sweetheart. This is a soil that we've been working on. Over here there are no potatoes. They're starting to migrate out here. But this is a soil over the years. We've been adding straw, compost, manures, black grit, all the wonderful stuff. And look at it, it's friable. Now that's what we mean by friable. So you can actually squeeze it, form a ball, and when you press it, it just breaks away like that. It crumbles away. That's what you want in your soil to be like, especially for potatoes and root vegetables. Otherwise, the harder the soil, the harder it is for the plant to grow its roots. Now, obviously for tall growing plants like tomatoes and things like that, not a problem, but ideally you want nice loose soil, and that's what we're doing here. We're gonna dig all this in, top dress it, and at the end, before we plant away, or if you've got your potatoes in already, let me grab it. The black grit. This is what we put in. This is what I'm going to be putting in here. So over here I'm going to be putting some carrots and more potatoes and leafy greens. Now the black grit calcium silicate phosphate, especially for the potatoes, the root vegetables, they love this stuff. It makes them grow bigger roots, which means bigger potatoes. And for flowering and fruiting plants above ground, well, the flowers and fruit become bigger, tastier and juicier. Stops this time of year, your oranges from splitting, because that's a common problem that happens with citrus trees, and that's the lack of calcium in the soil. It's not about only the excess water. You can have excess water in the soil, and this time of year it's quite common because it does rain regularly, but you've got to combat that. You can't stop the heavens above raining on your garden. So if you're lacking the calcium, your fruit's going to split. Put the calcium back in, best form of it, and you won't have split fruit anymore. So if you haven't planted your potatoes, get them in the ground. Now's the perfect time. And if they're sprouted up and they've died off, don't worry, they're going to come back up again. Get your black green, put your mulch on top, and if you've got lawn grub, get your chooks out onto them. They'll fix them up for you. And if you're looking for a great deal, our end of financial year sale is still going on till the end of the month. Check it all out, vasilisgarden.com, up to 60% off everything online. From me, Vasily, Maresi.